Leo had spent the last 2 years alone on a quiet mining outpost, orbiting the small moon of Valis 4. The planet below was empty, just dust, rock, and silence. He liked it that way. No war. No politics. Just machines and peace. Then the sky cracked. Open. A strange ship's maul and burning fell through the atmosphere. Alarms screamed across Leo's control panel. He watched the object fall fast and crash into the ground less than a kilometer away. The impact shook the floor beneath him. Smoke rose beyond the horizon. Leo grabbed his emergency gear. This moon never had visitors, not even smugglers. He had a bad feeling already growing in his gut. As he approached the crash site, the ship came into view, sleek, silver, and clearly not human-made. The markings on the hull shimmered in colors his mind couldn't fully understand. The door was already open. Cautiously, Leo stepped inside. The interior was dim, lit by flickering blue lights. He heard something, a soft whimper. A small figure crouched behind a broken panel. A child. An alien child. She looked up at him, her large eyes glowing softly. Her skin was a pale violet, with faint patterns like stars running down her cheeks. Her arms were thin. She wore a tattered silver robe. She couldn't be older than 6, and she held something in her hands. It was a small device, like a projector. As soon as she saw Leo, she pressed a button. A hologram appeared. A woman's face filled the air, alien like the child, but older, elegant. She had the same glowing eyes, same star-marked skin. The woman spoke softly, her voice calm but heavy. If you are seeing this, then the stars did not lie. You are the one who saved me. You are the one I trusted. This is your child. Leo's breath caught in his throat. Her name is Mira. She is yours by heart and by blood. I had no other choice. Please protect her. They will come. She must survive. The hologram flickered and ended. Silence. Leo stared at the child. His hands trembled. What is this? He whispered. The girl took a slow step forward. Mom said, "You are my real dad." Leo stumbled back a little, trying to process what he just heard. I don't even know. Your mother. I've never, but then he remembered. 7 years ago. A mission on a far-off world. He was part of a rescue team sent to pull out diplomats during a civil conflict. One of them, a female alien diplomat, had been injured. Leo had carried her to safety through a burning forest, while the ground exploded behind them. She had whispered her name, thanked him for his courage, and kissed his cheek before disappearing into the crowd at the evac site. He had never seen her again. Could it really be her? He looked at the child again. There was something in her eyes. A quiet strength, a kindness, and something else, something very human. I don't understand, he said, still shaking his head. But the girl nodded, like she expected this. She held out a small pendant. Inside, it was a photo. His photo. The same one from his old military ID. She always kept this, the girl said. She said, ... He's your father, even if he doesn't know it yet. Leo knelt slowly and took the pendant, still staring. Why now? Why here? Before he could ask anything else, the crashed ship's console lit up red. More lights. A warning in alien script. The girl saw it too and whispered, "They followed me." Leo's eyes narrowed. Who? She looked at him, afraid for the first time. The ones who want to use me. They want me because I single quotes M... Frint. Leo didn't know what was going on. But instinct kicked in. He scooped the girl into his arms and ran out of the wreck. Something had changed. He had lived alone for years, believing he had no ties to anyone. But now, this little girl was looking at him like he was her whole world. And deep down, some part of him, the part that had buried itself under years of silence, believed her as they ran toward the base. Leo whispered, more to himself than to her, "We'll figure this out, I promise." Behind them, the crash site glowed brighter, an invisible signal reaching into the stars. Asterisk. The door to the outpost slammed shut behind Leo. Alarms still blinked red across the control board, but he ignored them. The girl Myra stood beside him, watching everything with wide, silent eyes. Leo was breathing hard, not for running, but from thinking too much. His hands rested on the table, gripping the edge tightly. None of this made sense. Who was this girl? Was she really his? He turned to look at her again. She wasn't crying. She wasn't scared. In fact, she was calm, too calm. Her glowing eyes watched him with curiosity, almost like she was studying him. "Are you hurt?" Leo asked. She shook her head. "No. Ship was already broken when I took it." "You flew that thing?" Leo blinked. "I didn't need to fly. It was set to bring me to you." "To me?" She nodded. "Mom said if anything happened, go to the man in the picture." Leo sat down slowly. His chest felt heavy. He stared at the pendant again. The picture inside, it was really him. Same uniform, same old tired smile. That mission. That one moment. He hadn't seen her long. Just enough to carry her through a battlefield and hand her to her people. He didn't even know her name. It had been just one short rescue, but to her, it had meant everything. Maybe that's why she chose him. Myra climbed onto the seat across from him and placed a small bag on the table. She opened it and pulled out a flat black cube. She said, "This has more answers." Mira said. Leo took the cube carefully. It looked like alien tech, but the touch sensor glowed under his fingers. With a soft hum, the cube projected a new image, a memory recording. There she was, the same woman. Her voice filled the room again. "Leo, I doubt you remember me, but I never forgot you, your kindness, your courage. I was supposed to die that day. You saved more than my life. You saved her too." Leo leaned forward, his eyes locked on the projection. Myra was not supposed to survive. My people said she was too weak, too different, but I had your blood. I used it in desperation to save her. It worked. She became something new. Part of me, part of you. Leo's heart pounded. Now they want her. They know she's different. They know she might be a key to something bigger. If you are seeing this, I'm gone. And I have no one left to trust. Only you. The cube powered down. Silence again. Leo looked at Myra. Your mom was brave, Myra smiled. She said you were brave too, that you saved her before, and would save me now. He rubbed his face and stood up. His thoughts were a storm. If what she said is true, then you're not just part of her world. You're part of mine. Outside, the wind was picking up. Valis 4 had no storms. This wasn't natural. Leo pulled up the security screen. Something large was entering orbit, not one ship. Several. He zoomed in. Dark, sharp-looking vessels with no official markings. Their energy signatures looked hostile. They followed you, Leo muttered. She was right. Myra stepped closer. We have to run again? No, Leo said quietly. Not yet. He opened the armory panel. It had been years since he touched the weapons. Old Earth-issued plasma rifles, drones, a few defense turrets. Enough to stall them, but not win. He checked Mira again. She didn't seem scared. She stood straight, her eyes fixed on the screen. Leo knelt beside her. Do you feel anything when you see them? He asked softly. Myra's eyes glowed a little brighter. They want to take me, but I'm not afraid. I just want to stay here with you. Leo smiled faintly. He felt it now. That old fire in his heart. The part of him that never stopped fighting for what mattered. "You don't have to go anywhere," he said. "Not unless you want to." Myra nodded. Then, quietly, she placed her small hand in his. Leo squeezed it gently. "Your mother trusted me, and I won't let her down. You're safe here, I promise." Behind them, on the monitors, the enemy ships moved into attack position. The battle hadn't started yet, but Leo knew. This was just the beginning. Asterisk. The warning lights on Leo's monitor turned solid red. He didn't need translation. It meant one thing: they had landed. Outside the outpost, the still air of Valis 4 had shifted. Dust clouds moved unnaturally. The moon was quiet, but it felt like something alive was watching. Waiting. Leo activated the external cameras. He zoomed in. 3 black ships had touched down on the rocky surface, not far from the crash site. The design was nothing like any friendly race Leo had seen. Their hulls looked sharp, jagged, like something built for fear, not function. Then the doors opened. Tall figures emerged, wrapped in dark armor with glowing red eyes. There were 6 of them, each one carrying what looked like living weapons. Their movements were smooth, fast, and perfectly in sync. Leo's voice was tight. They didn't come to talk. He turned to Myra, who stood beside the control panel. She hadn't spoken much since the cube message. She just kept staring, silent but aware. Her small fingers tapped gently on the edge of the screen, watching. "The enemies. They're called the Varn," she whispered. "Mother said, if they ever came, I should run." Leo glanced at her. "Do you know why they want you?" Myra looked down. "Because I'm both. Human and not. They think I can unlock something ancient." Leo didn't ask what. There wasn't time. The outer motion sensors triggered. The Varn were coming. He moved fast. "All right, Myra. We're not running yet, but we can't let them in. Go hide in the back room behind the steel door. Lock it and don't come out unless I call you." "Got it?" She hesitated. "But what about you?" "I've been through worse," he said with a smirk. "Trust me. Just stay safe." Myra gave a tiny nod and ran down the hallway. Leo opened the weapon locker. He hadn't used most of these in years, but his hands remembered every grip, every reload motion. Plasma rifle, shoulder turret, shield drone. He locked them into place like muscle memory. Then he waited. The footsteps came, fast metal on stone, sharp, precise. The first Varn walked into view, heading straight toward the airlock door. They didn't knock. They just scanned it. And a spike extended from their arm. Leo pressed the external speaker button. "You have 5 seconds to walk away," he said, "or I light you up." There was no reply. The Varn stabbed the control panel. Leo grinned. He had rewired that panel years ago. As soon as the spike touched the metal boom, a flash burst erupted, throwing the Varn backward into the dust. The others opened fire, blasting into the steel walls. Leo rolled behind cover and activated the auto-dash turret. It sprang to life above the door, spitting out controlled plasma bursts. One of the Varn collapsed, smoke rising from its armor. The others moved fast, flanking the structure. Leo ducked as the wall shook. They brought heavy fire. Another explosion rocked the hallway. Inside the panic room, Myra sat behind the locked door, her hand glowing faintly. Her eyes widened. Something inside her pulsed like heat, but calm. Her mother's voice echoed in her memory. "If danger finds you, listen to your blood. It remembers." Myra closed her eyes. Outside, the Varn breached the second wall. Leo switched to close combat mode. As one of the armored soldiers came through the smoke, Leo slammed a shock baton into its chest twice. Sparks flew, but he was outnumbered, outgunned. Then it happened. Everything paused. The air shimmered. A pulse, silent but powerful, swept through the outpost. The weapons froze. The enemy turned. Confused. Leo looked up. Myra stood at the hallway's end. Her eyes were glowing bright white. A strange aura surrounded her, half energy, half something alive. She raised her hand. With one motion, the floor cracked beneath the Varn, their weapons fried in their hands. They stumbled, as if gravity had shifted around only them. "Myra!" Leo shouted. "Get back!" But she didn't move. She walked forward slowly. One of the Varn reached for her. She raised her hand again. A wave of invisible force hit him, sending his heavy armored body slamming into the ceiling and then the ground. Unmoving, the others backed away. Leo stood in shock. "What? What are you?" Myra looked at him. "I'm your daughter." "That's what I know." The Varn retreated. They didn't expect this. They weren't ready. Leo watched as the ships lifted off, leaving behind scorch marks in failure. Myra's glow faded. She fell to her knees, breathing hard. Leo ran to her and held her close. "You shouldn't have done that," he whispered. "I had to," she said quietly. "They wanted to take me. And I didn't want to lose you too." Leo held her tighter. Whatever she was, whoever she was becoming, he knew one thing. He'd protect her until his last breath. The fires had died down. The outpost smelled of smoke and scorched metal. Broken weapons, cracked walls, and the burnt armor of the Varn littered the ground. Leo stood beside Myra, watching the sky through the open roof panel. The Varn ships had retreated, but for how long? He glanced at the girl sitting on the bench. Her violet skin shimmered in the low light. Her hands rested in her lap. She looked calm, but Leo could feel it. Something inside her had changed. "You all right?" he asked gently. Myra nodded. "I just feel tired, but not hurt." "You did something," he said slowly. "Back there. Something I've never seen, not even in battlefields filled with psychic-class aliens." She looked up. "I didn't mean to do it. I just felt like I had to." Leo sat down across from her. "We need answers, real ones." Myra reached into her robe and pulled out a thin silver chip. "Mom said this would only work when I was with you," she said. "She told me to wait until the danger came. Now we can use it." Leo took the chip carefully. It had no markings, just a soft hum like it was alive. He plugged it into his main terminal. The screen blinked and a file opened. A hologram appeared. Again, it was the alien woman, Myra's mother, her voice calm, but her eyes full of fear. "If you're hearing this, it means the Varn have found her. And I'm likely gone, but you're with her now. That means there's still hope." Leo leaned in. Myra didn't blink. "I never told you my name. I should have. My name is Alara. I was one of the scientists tasked with unlocking the secrets of ancient war tech things even my people were too afraid to touch. But I saw something else." "In your blood?" Leo frowned. "My blood?" "Yes," the recording continued. "During the rescue, I was wounded. I used your DNA to repair my own injuries. Something unexpected happened. It bonded to me, healed me faster than anything we knew. I saved some. Later, when I was pregnant and my people said the child wouldn't survive, I used your blood again." Leo stared at the screen. His thoughts were spinning. Myra isn't just our daughter. She is a new possibility. Human adaptability, alien sensitivity, together in one. And the Varn know what that means. They want her to restart an old war, one that broke half the stars centuries ago. The image flickered for a second, then returned. "You must keep her safe, because if they get her, she won't just become a weapon. She become the key to their empire." But if she chooses her own path, maybe she can fix what we all broke. Leo looked at Mira. She knew. Your mother knew exactly what they were after. Mira lowered her eyes. She cried when she told me I had to leave. She said you would protect me, that I would feel safe with you. Leo stood up, his jaw tightened, and she was right. He walked to the far wall, opened a sealed panel, and pulled out a long black case. Inside was a reinforced portable travel core and a folded rover. We're leaving, he said. Where? Myra asked. To the ruins your mother once studied. If there are more answers, they'll be there. Maybe something to stop the Varn for good. They packed quickly. Leo took essentials weapons, food packs, 2 cloaking blankets, and a signal scrambler. He helped Mira into a small thermal suit and locked down the outpost dot as they rode into the desert moonscape. Stars lit the sky above them. The wind whispered across the rocky ground dot. Leo drove in silence, his mind full of questions. He had come here to hide from the galaxy. But now the galaxy had come to find him in the form of a child who called him Dad. Suddenly, Myra spoke. Do you think she's really gone? Leo glanced at her. I don't know, but I think she gave everything to make sure you'd reach me. Myra looked out the window. Then I'll make sure it wasn't for nothing. Hours passed. They finally reached the edge of an old canyon, one carved by energy weapons centuries ago. At the bottom, the ruins glowed faintly under the stars. Leo parked the rover. This is it. They stepped out. Old symbols covered the stone walls. The door to the ruins opened on its own as they approached. Inside, the air was warm, electric. Ancient machines hummed gently. And on the far wall a symbol. Half human, half alien. Connected. Myra whispered. She was here. Leo nodded. And whatever she found might be the only thing that saves you, or destroys everything. Asterisk. The ancient ruin felt alive. Not every step Leo and Mira took echoed like footsteps in a giant's memory. Blue lines pulsed gently along the stone floor, reacting to Mira's presence. As they moved deeper, the symbols on the walls lit up some in. Patterns Leo had never seen in any human or alien archive. This place knows you, Leo whispered. Mira didn't answer. Her eyes were locked on a strange shape ahead, like a throne, but not meant for sitting. It hovered slightly above the floor, wrapped in a ring of floating crystal shards. In the center, a dim light pulsed. Like a heartbeat, Leo raised his rifle. I don't like this. Suddenly, a soft mechanical voice filled the chamber. Identity confirmed. Hybrid class. Human DNA match detected. Access granted. The crystals shifted. The throne opened, revealing a control panel, symbols spinning, glowing, alive. Mira stepped forward slowly. This was what she was afraid of. Leo followed carefully. What is it? Myra placed her hand on the panel. The entire chamber lit up. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared above them. Systems, orders, ancient war zones. Then a symbol blinked in red. A weapon buried inside a dying star. Another hidden inside a shattered moon. 3 more scattered across unknown sectors. Then the voice spoke again. You are the key to activation. Do you wish to awaken the vaults? Leo's heart stopped. Myra, he said, slowly pulling her back. We don't know what this is yet. Myra's hand hovered. My mother said they wanted me to unlock something dangerous. Leo looked around the room. This wasn't just a ruin, it was a control room. A command center for something powerful, something old. She said you had a choice, Leo reminded her. Not to be used, not to be controlled. And that means we don't press anything until we know more. Mira looked up at the holographic galaxy. The red lights blinked. Steadily, silent, waiting, What if I don't choose? She asked softly. Leo sighed. Then maybe that's still a choice. The right one. She stepped away from the console. The room dimmed slightly, like it understood. Leo looked around. There must be more records. Something your mother left behind. As they explored a side chamber, they found a stone tablet with carvings in both alien and human language. Leo translated slowly. They were afraid of each other, so they built weapons too big to use. Machines that required 2 minds, 2 bloodlines to awaken. Myra read the next line aloud. They called it the balance protocol. Leo stepped back. It's a fail-safe. These weapons. They were locked behind genetics, alien and human combined. That's why they want you. Myra nodded. Because I can open all of it? She stepped closer to a small altar. Another recording played her mother's voice once more. Myra, if you find this, then the world has reached the edge again. I never wanted you to carry this burden. But if war returns, the galaxy will look for power. They will look for you. And you must not answer with hate. Leo's throat tightened. He reached out and gently closed the recording. She didn't raise you to destroy, he said quietly. I don't want to hurt anyone, Myra said. But if the Varn find this place... Leo pulled out his comm scanner. Then we make sure. They never do. Suddenly, the screen turned red. Multiple heat signatures. Moving fast. No ID. They're already here, he growled. He grabbed Myra's hand. We need to leave, now. As they raced through the ruins, the walls began to dim, power receding, like the ancient machines were going back to sleep. But Leo knew what they had seen would stay burned in their minds forever. Back in the rover, Myra turned to him as the engines roared. I can't keep running forever. Leo looked at her. You won't have to. But first, we have to destroy the path. If they follow us back here, they'll find the vault. She nodded. Then we bury it. He handed her a small controller. You remember what this is? She stared at it. Shock or detonator. Your mother taught you well. She pressed it. Far behind them, the ruins trembled. The entrance caved in. The valley filled with dust and thunder. Everything was gone, hidden once more beneath rock and time. Leo exhaled. We bought ourselves time. But not peace, Myra replied quietly. And she was right. As they drove off, a new ship appeared in the sky, sleek, black, and bigger than the others. The final hunters had arrived. The sky burned with silent fire. From above, a massive black ship descended, its engines humming like thunder wrapped in whispers. It wasn't like the others. This one was ancient, built before most civilizations had learned to walk among the stars. Leo tightened his grip on the rover's controls. That's not a hunting party, he muttered. That's an army. Mira stared at the vessel through the window. Her eyes didn't show fear, just quiet focus. They know the vault is gone, she said. Now they'll try to take me instead. Leo stopped the rover on a cliffside overlooking the canyon. The ruin had collapsed behind them, but it wasn't enough. The enemy still came. They always would. He looked at the girl sitting beside him, not just part alien, not just his blood. She was the spark the galaxy wanted to steal. And he wasn't going to let them. We stand here, Leo said firmly. I'm done running. Myra looked up. Me too. Leo activated the old Earth combat beacon. It hummed for a moment. Then, nothing. He sighed. No signal. Too far from any relay. Looks like we're on our own. But Myra raised her hand. A soft glow formed in her palm, pulsing like a heartbeat. She placed it gently on the beacon. The signal turned green. Leo's eyes widened. You just boosted a military beacon using yourself? I don't know how, Myra said honestly. I just knew it needed help. In orbit above, the massive black ship began deploying dropships. Dozens. Maybe more. They're coming. Leo said. He jumped out of the rover and began setting up turrets and drones. One after another, they formed a line near the ridge. Mira stood at the center, her small hands glowing. "I'm not a weapon," she whispered, "but I can still fight." Leo stood beside her. "You're not a weapon. You're my daughter." "That's enough." The first wave hit fast black armored warriors dropping like rain. Leo fired. The ridge became a wall of smoke and fire. Drones zipped overhead, blasting enemies from above. Leo moved like a ghost between cover and fire, an old soldier born again. Mira stayed behind him, channeling small pulses disabling ships mid-air, turning gravity against the invaders, making their armor freeze with a wave of her hand. But the enemy kept coming. The ground shook as something larger arrived. A Varn Titan walker, stomping across the field with plasma cannons mounted to each side. Leo fired everything he had. Nothing worked. "Mira, get back." But she didn't run. She stepped forward, calm, eyes shining like twin stars. She whispered, "You won't take my father." She raised both hands. The ground beneath the walker cracked. A pulse shot from her chest, silent, white, and alive. The Titan froze mid-step. It bent inward, collapsed. The metal turned cold, brittle, then shattered like glass. The remaining soldiers stopped. They turned. They fled. The sky was silent again. Leo stood in place, panting, gun empty. His hands trembled. Mira walked to him, her steps slow but steady. "You're bleeding," she said quietly. He chuckled. "You just ended an entire elite strike force, and you're worried about a scratch on me?" "You're my dad," she said with a small smile. "I'm allowed?" Leo knelt and pulled her into a hug. For the first time in years, he felt something deep inside him settle. Not just duty, not just survival. Family. In the distance, a soft hum filled the air. A ship approached this one small, marked with the Earth emblem. The signal had worked. Backup had arrived. Leo smiled. Took them long enough. As the human dropship landed, soldiers ran out, weapons drawn, but stopped when they saw Myra. One of them looked at Leo. "Sir, is that what we think it is?" Leo placed a hand on Myra's shoulder. "No, she's not a weapon. She's a child. But she just destroyed. She's my daughter." The soldiers paused, then lowered their guns. Leo helped Mira into the ship. As they lifted off, Myra looked out the window, watching the stars. "Do you think it's over?" she asked. Leo looked out too. "For now. But no matter what comes, we face it together." Mira smiled. She didn't just find her father. She found her home. Asterisk.